Hi, I'm Matthew Morrison from The Practice. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is keeping on doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Over the last 15 years of being a financial advisor, time and time again, I've seen new client after new client come to us with very similar challenges, similar roadblocks, and having made very similar mistakes from their previous financial journey. In this week's video, I'd like to take you through what I see the 7 big mistakes that hold people back from financial success and may well ultimately get in the way of them achieving future financial freedom. But most importantly, I'll cover how you can avoid the same mistakes. Hopefully you get some value from this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the end.
Many of you would have seen or at least heard of the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. In the movie, Bill Murray's character is condemned to living the same day over and over again until he gets it right. Now, thinking about this movie, it reminded me of the consistent challenges I see new clients facing on a day-to-day basis. While all clients are slightly different with different incomes, asset positions, goals, plans, and even life experiences, purely from a so-called mistakes and setbacks perspective, I regularly see that new clients who initially come to meet with us, they're making or they have made similar mistakes that, if continued, can really derail their ability to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Isn't it true that typically, unless things change, the past equals the future? That's the reason I really wanted to shoot this video, in the hope you'll recognize one or even more of these mistakes in your own financial situation, and importantly, look to rectify it sooner rather than later. With that in mind, let's jump into the 7 big financial mistakes that hold most people back. Mistake number 1 is lack of clarity around financial and lifestyle goals. Most people have vague goals or even no goals at all. Most people never specifically set it as a goal to achieve financial freedom in the first place. Because of this, it's no wonder that studies have shown that only 4% of people ever really achieve any sort of financial freedom or financial independence. Getting a clear vision around what financial success means to you and what life you really want to create for yourself and your family, it's really the first step on your journey toward achieving financial freedom. And importantly, goals, they absolutely need to be written down. Don't keep it in your head. Ideally, write them down and display them where you can see them on a regular basis. If you want to, create a vision board and put it up in your home or your office, if that's something that works for you. Only 3% of people have written goals, while 14% of people, they have goals but not written down. The majority of the remaining 83% tend to drift through life with uncertainty and no direction. They don't believe that they have the ability or even the right to be financially successful, or it never even occurs to them that they can do it. Those who achieve financial freedom, they begin with the end in mind, so to speak, and they set it as a clear written goal to achieve future financial freedom for themselves and their family. Importantly as well, they get very clear on why they want to achieve it and what financial success will mean to them. Mistake number 2 is that they don't maximize their cash flow. In order to achieve future financial freedom, cash flow, or more specifically, surplus cash flow, is like oxygen. Did you know that 81% of people spend everything that they earn, and 9% of people actually spend more than they earn through racking up credit cards and personal loans? If you're striving toward achieving future financial freedom, it's crucial that you find a way to create surplus cash flow and then use that cash flow toward achieving your future financial and your lifestyle goals. If you're struggling to create surplus cash flow on your current income and you've slashed your expenses as much as possible, then look for ways to really make yourself more valuable and amplify your income. However, when you do that, decide in advance to create a wedge between the rate at which your income increases and the rate at which your expenses increase, and then use that gap to really fuel your financial future. People on the path toward achieving future financial freedom, they run their personal finances like a business with the goal of making a profit each year and growing those profits over time. They invest in themselves and they consistently grow their earning capacity by adding as much value as possible to their employer or their business and their customers and their clients' lives. Mistake number 3, they take on too much bad debt. Too often over the years, I've met with well-meaning, hardworking people that have dug themselves a massive hole by racking up obscene amounts of credit card debt and personal loans that are now suffocating them. Quite often, this spending has been on unnecessary toys or lifestyle spending. They buy liabilities instead of assets. Falling for that temptation of easy credit, and in particular excessive credit card debt or expensive car loans, are the biggest contributor to most people not being in a position to build wealth. The purchases that these personal debts are used, they might make us feel good in the short term, but just like too much ice cream or pizza on a regular basis, they are terrible for us in the long term. Those who achieve financial freedom or are well on the way towards this, they actively avoid unnecessary lifestyle spending and racking up credit card debt and personal loans. They practice delayed gratification, knowing that once they achieve their financial goals, they'll be able to buy all the toys that they want. This is, of course, if they even still want them at that point in time. Mistake number 4, they don't plan for setbacks. The majority of people are 1 month away from homelessness. By this, I mean that very few people have more than 1 month's expenses in a cash buffer. And how could they, like back in mistake number 2, if 90% of people are spending everything, if not more, than they earn? Life is full of unexpected expenses. And what happens when unexpected expenses pop up? Now, of course, very few people actually become homeless, but their credit cards, they take a belting, beginning the dangerous spiral that keeps many people trapped. They want to build wealth, but they have that $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 worth of credit card debt hanging over their head due to a series of unexpected expenses and due to failing to build that emergency cash buffer. Ideally, aim to build a cash buffer of 3 months worth of expenses, just in case you lose your job or you become sick or injured and not able to work for a few months. This will virtually eliminate the need to hold a credit card, which most people originally take out just for emergencies. And importantly, it will give you a feeling of security and peace of mind. Also, absolutely make sure you protect your greatest asset. And of course, your greatest asset is your earning capacity. You protect this through having appropriate risk insurance and appropriate wealth protection strategies in place. Several people have come to us over the last few years, unfortunately in financial dire straits, because one member of the couple has had a major health issue and couldn't work for the longer term. But unfortunately, it hadn't occurred to them or they hadn't bothered to put appropriate risk insurance in place to protect themselves, their cash flows, and protect their family. Those on the path toward future financial freedom, they protect against being derailed financially due to potential health issues. They protect themselves and their family by having adequate wealth protection cover, and they give themselves the peace of mind that, you know what, if they're off work for an extended period of time due to illness or injury, and they have a loss of income because of this, that they can maintain their financial position until they're well enough to return to work. Mistake number 5, they make bad and impulsive investment decisions. Unfortunately, most people spend far more time planning their annual holiday than they do their major investment decisions in life. As such, far too many people, they make impulsive investment decisions. They buy rubbish properties off the plan in high-rise apartment buildings that are never going to grow in value. They blindly take advice from untested or untrusted source. They take hot tip share advice from their mates at the pub. Or you know what? They actually do nothing because, of course, investing is risky. Their impulsive neighbor who lost money following their own misguided advice says so. When it comes to building wealth and creating financial freedom, impulsive and speculative investment decisions are gambling. They are not investing. People who achieve financial freedom, they seek advice and guidance, but they also make informed financial decisions, and they take calculated risks that are right for them. They are not in a rush. They know that investments are like buses. If they miss out on one through wanting to make informed decisions, then another bus will be right around the corner, and they'll be more informed and more capable when that bus arrives. Mistake number 6, they don't know how much is enough. And by how much is enough, I mean what level of investment will it take to create financial freedom on your terms in the first place? The reason that's a problem is if you don't know how much is enough, you therefore don't aim high enough and run the very real risk of falling short of what's required and potentially outliving your money. It would be hugely disappointing to think you're on track to being financially free and comfortable at, say, age 65, and then get there and realize you don't have nearly enough to cover the lifestyle you originally envisaged. Whether that be due to the age pension you were relying on not being available, life expectancy dramatically increasing due to medical or technological advances, or relying on well-meaning but potentially dangerous studies around the level of assets a couple actually needs to retire. I'll go out on a limb and say that if you're currently 45 years of age or younger, firstly, you will not be able to access your superannuation until age 70. And secondly, the age pension will not be around by the time you retire. If it is, then it may only be available when you're down to your last dollar and have been forced to sell your house. Those on the path towards creating their own financial freedom, they know the government will not be there to help them like they do current retirees. They are building assets both inside and outside of superannuation. So when the accessibility rules of superannuation change, it doesn't matter because you know what? They were actually expecting it, and they have sufficient overall assets by around age 60 or age 65 to help fund their future desired lifestyle and financial freedom goals in a sustainable and ongoing manner, even if they happen to live to age 100 or even more. Mistake number 7, they take advice from the wrong people, or they try to figure it out all by themselves. Very few Australians actually seek any sort of financial advice throughout their lives. In fact, surveys conducted by BlackRock indicated that only 15% of Australians seek advice from a financial advisor. And the majority of those people are aged 55 to 64, planning for retirement and life after work. While this number is small, the study also indicated that of these people who sought financial advice to really help map out their financial future, 89% of these people found the advice to be extremely useful. Most people who have either achieved financial freedom or on the path toward achieving financial freedom, they have a team around them of advisors, accountants, mortgage brokers, and lawyers to help advise them, to challenge them, and work together as a collaborative team to help them stay on track toward achieving their future financial and their lifestyle goals. Whether you engage an advice team or you take your own advice, the key is to clarify your vision, evaluate your current position, and develop and implement a strategy to build towards financial freedom while allowing plenty of cash flow and plenty of flexibility to enjoy your lifestyle along the journey. I'm the first to admit it, it's not necessarily easy, but you can do it with the right guidance and the right game plan.
Hi, it's Matthew Morrison here again from The Practice. Hopefully you got some good ideas from that video on how to avoid the 7 big mistakes that hold most people back. In next week's video, I'm going to cover why budgeting doesn't work. It's a dirty word, I know, but traditional budgeting, it just does not work. But I'll take you through what I think are the ways to budget and the ways to actually manage cash flow to achieve your goals moving forward. Thank you again for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you on the next video.